Won't you let me walk you home from school? Won't you let me meet you at the pool? Maybe Friday I can get tickets for the dance, and I'll take you. Won't you tell your dad, get off my back? Tell him what we said about painted black. Rock and roll is here to stay. Come inside, well it's okay. And I'll shake you. Won't you tell me what you're thinking of? Would you be an outlaw for my love? If it's so, then let me know. If it's no, then I can go. I won't make lovely Floridian day. It's Don and Freddie and Boca Raton with the Brooklyn Cafe Show. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Woo!
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to the midday show.
How is it midday already? Honest to goodness, we just finished the morning show like that.
I know, but you know what happens after the morning show?
Midday.
Show. And then it's the night show.
I don't know, I feel like the past hour and a half was like, how did you get taller in the time that I just set the camera?
I don't know, the way you set the camera is too short.
I set the camera and you seem to have grown in the past 30 seconds.
Josh takes care of it.
Because you don't sit up, I think is what it is. And then you go to sit up and we lose.
Josh, am I set up?
Now you're good.
See, Josh did it.
He's good, he got you. Anyway, happy Monday to you. Happy Monday, everyone. Wow, last Monday in February.
I see the Third Eye Club is in the house. You see over there?
Frank's been here with us since the morning show. Alicia is here. We got Frank. We got Margaret and Sally, and we're going to talk some music, things to do, people to see.
We have some homework to clean up. Apparently, Frank and the Artist Loft is going to be producing an old friend of ours. His first show is going to be March 11th?
Late 18th?
18th?
I think you said 18th.
Yeah, because he's in New York. Mag Chop. Is that his name? Kenny Mag Chop?
Kenny Ruiz, Maga Chop.
Kenny Ruiz, Mag Chop.
He's going to
The man, the myth, the legend.
What was the name of the book that he was going to write? Impersonating Me?
Pretending to be me?
Pretending to be
Leaving the two of you in a meeting alone, it's like, were either of you in the movie and in the meeting? I'm like, wow.
pretending to be me.
I like the name of that book because I was thinking that people have I did hear that part, that people have imposter syndrome all the time and they think, what is it really like to be me? And then I came back into the meeting and he was telling us a story of one of his life adventures and I thought, wow, that's an adventure that only he can share if he so chooses to. But journeys that people have gone through in life that you just don't know until you know.
Well, I'm going to use that until he tells us the name of his show, but pretending to be me, to me, is a dynamite opening act.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's actually doing a speech at FIU today for the something class.
Art masters class.
Like I said, the two of
First
you
of all,
in a
you weren't
meeting
even there.
together.
You couldn't wait 2 minutes to wait.
He's doing a lecture to the master's students at FIU
You
on
weren't
art.
even in the meeting. How do you know that?
Because I heard him say it. I got 3 bits of information. Pretending to be me, his story about the hook, and he's going to be doing a speaking, he's giving a lecture, and they're going to have all of his artwork up in digital form on his PowerPoint presentation.
Now, Sally, the reason
Did I get all that?
The reason I don't remember what was said is so that she could pay close attention. This is all set up.
And then
Is it working?
And then this other poor
Matter
girl
of fact,
walks
is it
in.
working?
This poor other girl walks in, and I
It
said
seems
to
to
her,
be.
I have a meeting with you on Thursday. And then Toby comes in,
Do
and
you
then
know
the
how
phone
long you
rings.
had that poor girl waiting out here?
And Sally, because I had her scheduled for Thursday. And
But do
she's
you
like,
know
oh,
how
yeah.
long you had her waiting out here?
She wasn't supposed to be here
You
today.
throw me under the bus, I throw you under.
So I said, now you understand why I set it up for Thursday. She's like, yeah, no, I get it. So she'll be back on Thursday. But what a great concept she has also.
Clothing, if you need suits, she only makes suits? She makes
Women's
anything.
clothing.
Women's clothing, we have a connection for you.
They measure you. You get your arm length, your bust, your hips, everything goes in
bust.
your bust. You know, what looks good on smaller
You
busted
have to
versus
measure bust for suits?
you got to make sure your chest fits in the clothing, yeah.
But if the bust goes to here and your waist goes to there, how do you measure a suit like that?
So that they make the suit to fit your measurements.
How? Your jacket is going to be over your...
But it's not like a one size fits all. They make it custom. You pick out the fabric, you pick out the style, you pick out the lapels. It's very classic.
You see what I'm
They've been
saying?
doing that in Savile Row for years.
And they have those fabrics from Savile Row as well.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know what made me say that.
That's what she was talking about. And
Oh
you
my
walked
God.
in and she says, do you know these fabrics?
So
And I'm thinking,
that's-
Were you
Savile
at the
Row.
meeting too? Because apparently
No,
everybody was there but
but it
me.
just-
Everyone was at
came
the
to
meeting
me.
except for the two of you, which actually sat in the
I
meeting.
knew I had to say Savile Row.
But the question I have is when a woman's jacket is measured and you got to cover the Alps, how does that work to have a jacket that fits?
They measure it.
It
Let me ask
it
the
doesn't work.
spirits.
They
What?
measure it
ask.
to
But if the jacket goes to here and the waist goes to there, how do you measure
You got
that?
less material here and more material here.
Impossible.
No.
And
that's
what do you
exactly-
shrink the jacket?
Dolly had no problem, so I guess it worked.
Exactly.
Dolly used to buckle her up at the midsection because with them Gigantors, there was no jacket to cover and look right. That's why they put the belt around her. Look at her pictures.
Anyway, she'll be back on Thursday. But it was a busy morning. I'm
It's the
excited
things I wanna know.
that Mag Chop is starting his own show.
Yes, and he is a designer, a creative, an artist. He's a movie actor. He has somebody from the Eagles, he said.
And there's
You said the
Dolly.
Eagles.
There's Dolly.
Look at her waist. See how they put something at the waist? They got to put it there because I'm going to tell you, those are bigums.
Accentuate the positive.
And those bigums have to get covered.
Remember that song, Accentuate the Positive?
Yeah, you put a tent over each one of those, you still have room for the
God,
animals.
and you've got the buzzer. Buzz yourself. Thank you.
Wow.
But I'm glad Frank is
Freddie
here.
always keeps himself abreast of the situation.
I need that buzzer, please. Thank you.
That was good. I love having an author in the house because
Your
He com-
compadre is in the house.
the hell was that?
They hear, but they're buzzing you as well.
That was permissible.
Permissible. But nice job, Frank. I'm excited, and I think Artist Loft is going to be every week in March or April. I'm not sure if we've decided on what we're going to do yet.
I don't think Richard has decided yet.
Richard's figuring that
I would
out.
rather have it April than March because I'm going to be My son is coming in the end of March, so I'll miss a show. So
Oh,
whatever.
well, let's do it for
So
April.
let's do April. We don't need Rich's.
We'll do
input.
April.
We tell Richard to show up, that's all.
That's it.
So April, Artist Loft is going to be every week, which will be really nice. How did you get Kenny in?
That's a good one.
He likes me.
It's a Frankism.
No,
Yeah, man.
I've known Ken for a long time.
I noticed you were talking about, he was talking to people that you know from his past.
Yeah,
Wow. I mean, that's a long time.
long time. Kenny's a good guy,
And he's tremendously
and he has the wherewithal to do his own show. So
He
I
does.
sort of convinced him that he needs to step it up.
He was a little nervous today.
He was nervous.
I got a big kick out of that.
Yeah. He had stories and stories and stories. A lot of things to fill you guys in on.
You know, I'm moving, so I'm packing, right? And I found a CD of my first radio show 22 years ago. Man, was I bad.
Wow. You did it with your son?
I did it by myself. And my partner bet me $50 that I couldn't do it.
22 years ago? Really?
And I played it, and man, was I bad. I mean, I couldn't get a sentence out. You think my English is bad now? You should have heard it back then.
Wow.
I didn't have all the words. It was horrible.
You should bring it in. Let us hear it.
No.
Let us see what you got.
I threw it away in the garbage, and Linda picked it up and put it somewhere I can't find it now. She says, you can't do it. It's an icon. Yeah, right.
It's an icon. It's going to go
I
in the
also
National
found the
Archives.
first show you did.
That we
that will
definitely have
play.
on file someplace.
That will play. That's kind of fun to watch you. Your whole style was different.
I was a lot younger.
No, I had nothing to do with it. Your hair was different.
Yes, I was younger.
You look like your sister now. Back then, I don't know, you were the milkman's kid or something, because you didn't look like nobody.
What can I tell you? What can I tell you? But I like watching the guy. You know, we always have women in here and women's perspectives and conversations. I never get to watch you in action with the guys. And I got to watch you and Frank and Kenny have this guy's connection, which I thought was kind of nice. So
Well, Frank has so many words in the deal. I kept looking at him and kept looking at him.
But no, it's a different interaction. Man to man is totally
No.
different.
I bet Frankie couldn't bring Kenny. I says, no way in the world you're going to get him here. And sure as hell enough, he does. I was shocked.
I told you.
Oh, you know, he needed that little kick.
He needed that little oomph, that little push.
That boost of confidence.
Good stuff. But we have all sorts of good, exciting stuff. Kenny's one of them. We're going to have the artist deal is going to go to every week, maybe more. We're going to be doing something in North Miami this Friday. And I asked Frank if he can make it. I think Frank can't make it, but I think you can make something in the afternoon. Kenny's going to be there.
You like how they have Richard upside down in this?
Yeah, what'd you do that for?
Josh did that. It's hilarious.
He's going to call.
Why, he's in it. He's just upside down.
He does. He likes it to be perfect.
He knows a lot of people, though. But I do like watching the male interaction between the three of you. Telling your stories,
Also,
listening to the stories.
we had a guest on his show who's agreed to do a stand-up piece with us
Whose show?
on the Artist Loft
Sharon.
Yes.
on the Tuesday.
Next Tuesday night, actually. She's doing a stand-up comedy hour.
Who is that?
Sharon Pfeiffer. She was one of the first people we interviewed when we were up at iHeart back in the day.
Yep. And Sharon was actually going to do a stand-up comedy
Ask Sharon
piece.
if she can fit a blazer on and a mini skirt.
She'll tell you no.
As she's putting her sunscreen on her back. That'll be
Sharon's
her
back.
opening act. Sharon's back.
Sharon's back in the name of the comedy. Oh, this is going to be hilarious.
I'm hoping you're going to be here.
Where am I going to be?
You're moving.
Well, I can't miss that show.
I know.
I have to tell them to stop the closing.
So I'm hoping you're going to be here for that.
And also, I'm making another announcement. Boy, there's a lot of announcements today.
You're making me nervous.
Look at her face. Look at her
Getting
face.
a little nervous.
Alicia is in the house. Worrying her.
Alicia.
I call her Alicia.
Alicia.
Alicia is in the house with her 3D glasses because I spoke to her over the weekend, and I want to introduce the Spotlight Talent Agency.
Yes.
You nervous yet?
I've been nervous since yesterday when you told me about it.
And with Alicia and also JoJo, also a few other friends want to get together to create a talent agency that we're going to sign. Now, you laughed at me when I told you I was going to do the
I'm
recording
not
label.
laughing at you. I just
So
told you I don't have the capacity to do any more legal paperwork.
Well, I'm bringing the recording label.
Okay.
I'm bringing the talent agency pool, and we're going to put it together.
Okay.
And from here to Melbourne, and from Melbourne to New York, it's already in motion. And it's called the Spotlight Talent Agency, where we take your talent to stardom. Wow, I remember that.
Alicia, he was so excited. He's texting me yesterday morning, and I'm just getting up, and it's, answer the phone, answer the phone. I'm like, can I get out of bed yet? Answer the phone, pick up the phone.
8 o'clock.
No, I think it was like 9:15.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing in bed?
And he was so excited to launch this whole idea with you.
I think it's phenomenal, and I think there's a lot of undiscovered stars that needs to be spotlighted, and that's the beauty of this.
And you're going to be our boots on the ground, is my understanding.
Well, I'm going to. I have some people that I'm thinking already about that's in the radar that I always thought were stars, but never had the opportunity. And this is an opportunity for them to showcase what they have to offer to the world. And I think we want to spotlight the greatest that we can find within our reach. Reach for the stars, baby.
She can't say boots on the ground. She's the ambassador. That she understands.
Remember Star Search with Ed McMahon?
Sure.
I used to love that show.
I'll give you one even further back, the Midday Show. I just can't remember the guy's name. He used to be the original Star Search. He started Madonna and all those people back in the day.
Wasn't his name Johnny Carson?
No. That's at night. This guy was in the Midday Show in
Parr?
New York City. What?
Bill Parr?
It was before him.
Oh, Bill Parr was before me, so I really don't know.
I'm going to tell you, I used to watch this thing, and I was amazed that all this talent was poured onto his show, and he did it. It was, oh, by the way, a couple of weeks ago, I talked to you about Trading Places. Jamie Lee Curtis was the woman on that show, and I only watched that one part of the movie. I've seen it 3,000 times. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah.
You know who she is?
Yes.
So Trading Places, she shows her top.
Oh, I don't know the movie.
You don't know Jamie Lee, you don't know Trading Places?
I
You know
guess
Trading
not.
Places?
Yeah.
Remember when Jamie Lee gave us a up close and personal look?
Jamie Lee let it all hang out.
She let it all hang out. You know Jamie Lee Curtis?
Wow.
That's Jamie Lee.
Well,
now
look how
that's
young
right
she is
before
there.
she took
Wow.
it off. That's Jamie Lee.
Wow.
You guys know Jamie Lee?
Yes. Look how young she is.
That movie soared to superstardom because
Wow.
she decided to go vroom, and and the liner she used, that costs money too.
It all costs money. You don't
But she
get
said that
anything for
costs
free.
money too.
All right, let's take a commercial break. When we come back, we're doing music. We're going to talk to Sally. We're going to talk to Frank. We'll see where else the wind blows us on this
We have a
Monday
musician in
afternoon.
the house. We might as well
We're going to
see
talk
what
about what he's got going on. Bless you, Kennedy. Give us a call, 888-994-4995, Studio A. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Brooklyn Cafe TV for exclusive behind-the-scenes content, even Pickleball Saturday. More to come on the other side of this break, and we'll be right back.
Do you have an idea for a show or a podcast? Do you want the opportunity to be on TV? Amp Media Productions is partnered with True Oldies Real Radio Station and powered by many online platforms such as Roku, Facebook, YouTube, and even Amazon Fire to help amplify your impact. Do you want your voice to reach a wide audience? Call us today at 866-224-5422.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties. Open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
A successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Ant Media Productions is excited to announce our expansion into North Miami. With our experienced team of radio and TV professionals, we are dedicated to bringing North Miami the highest quality audio and visual production services. Whether you need radio or television commercials, podcasts, music videos, or audio and visual storytelling, we can provide the solutions to help you reach your goals. Our team is reliable, innovative, and creative, and we're ready to help you develop the perfect product. With our competitive rates and personalized service, you can trust that your project is in the best hands. Contact us today to get started on your project. 866-224-5422.
South Florida's Good Time Oldies. Now, Boca and Delray Beach have their own oldie station. Catch us on 95.3 FM. It's the greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s. On South Florida's Good Time Oldies, 95.3 FM.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back. You didn't even say anything about Saturday. For the first time in 19 years, I aired a show on a Saturday midday. Say nothing.
We talked about it this morning.
No, we didn't.
We did, Pickleball Saturday.
I don't remember.
And I have to tell you, the numbers have been incredible. The camera work, this audio, what the crew put together was incredible. El Yato Productions even got me hitting the ball more than me not hitting the ball, which is the beauty of editing, because I ran around for an hour and a half chasing the ball, and he actually got me a few times hitting the ball. So, and you even hit it back, and I hit it back, so it looked like we almost had somewhat of a game.
We had, in all that 2 hours, we had one good volley.
He found it for us, which was amazing. But the crew had a good time.
I'm seeing eyeballs here in stereo.
So that was a whole lot of fun. So check out Saturday's show live from Pickleball Garden. And we've got our very good friend and author, Frank A. Ruffolo. And I think Frank Sally's going to be purchasing. Sally, which one did you want? The latest edition?
The latest. I don't remember, but I know I read something about it.
This one?
Yes. I can't remember what it was about, but I knew it piqued my interest.
Am I holding them?
What do you think, Frank? Should she start on this one?
Sure. Why not? Yeah, you can start
Should
on
I
that
start on? Well, I mean, which one do you recommend for me to start with?
Gabriel's Chalice is the beginning of the venture, but no, you could either one.
You can work your way backwards.
Listen, Martians can read backwards.
Oh. Well, that's one of my friends, Martians.
Have you noticed that lately more and more space is being talked about? They've abandoned the oceans. NASA has abandoned the oceans and everything now. We just landed on the moon. There was no big deal. Landed on the moon. Yes.
Well, Sea Sirens just did an incredible art piece that went to the moon.
She's on it.
What number are you on? 4? She's on 4. We got you.
Keep going.
Sea Sirens did an incredible project that went to the moon. It's only 222 artists were chosen, and Sea Sirens is all about the ocean conservation. And so it coincides with what you're saying.
But it's interesting because all of a sudden they said that the future of mankind is going to be another planet. And Frank has been writing about that since what, 1998?
Since 2006.
Which is really bizarre the way it's going about. And they said that all of this was going to happen because NASA can't keep the secrets hidden anymore. Right. This year and next year, they have to let it all hang out, all the truths that they found and everything else.
Well, they just released a picture from the Mars rover, and they think they spotted a fossil skeleton on Mars. They don't know what it was, but it looks like bones.
Is that like your friends or something?
Yeah, he's talking about my ancestors. But you know, I said something to Steve yesterday. When you think about this, and I mean, I've talked about it on my show too, but 50 years ago, they went to the moon, correct? Well, you think about this and think about a lot of the things that we talk about. They've never gone back for 50 years. So,
because they abandoned, it was a race against the Russians. There was no cause except to be numero uno, the egoistico, machismo. And it's funny because if you see the movie, it's 5 women they got us there. Not men, 5 women, those 5 scientists. I saw the movie. But now they went down to explore the ocean depths. And something they found down there scared the crap out of them. Or they say, we're not going to go in that direction, they're going back to the moon. So yes, they are looking to colonialize, is that a word?
Yes.
Mars.
That's what, maybe Sally should start on your last book and work her way backwards.
Well, something's telling me to do that, so, but I don't know.
The last book, I'll work your way back.
I'll do that? Okay.
Because it talks about Mars.
That's what I'm doing slowly here. I'm working my way back to Mars.
Because you've time traveled so much, I think it's a good idea for you to start that way.
Right.
I also talk about Proxima B in my new book. That's the Earth-like planet they just found. It's only 4 light years from here.
I heard about that. Do you know that it takes Voyager 20 years to go 1 light year? So it's out there 40, 50 years. So it's gone 2.5 light years to get to where it is today.
And it's still working.
And it's still working. Do you know how impressive that is? That is very impressive. That means it can be done. Now, when I first met Dawn, we used to do a show up at iHeart. I applied to NASA. There was this thing.
Yes, you did.
And I applied that I would like to go to Mars. Remember? And people laughed at me, and I said, no, this is true. And they checked it. And they wrote to me that I don't qualify because of my health. No. So I said, so give me a one-way ticket. I ain't got to come back. Can you imagine? Would you go? Would you do it, Frank? Would you go to Mars?
At my age?
No, at my age, yes.
No.
Why not?
Because I don't know.
You know the book you could write up there? You send it down here? Could be tremendous.
Maybe when they perfect faster than light travel, I'll go to Mars.
Wow. That's a problem because your cells will get moved around a little bit. But I would go. You wouldn't go?
To Mars?
Yeah.
I couldn't order superfluous things. You saw what happened today? A box comes in, and I thought it was for Josh, and it was the superfluous, unnecessary hand towels that I guess I clicked the wrong address on. It's supposed to go to my house. But
I want you to give me one.
You want a hand towel?
Yeah, I want to know what that's like.
What a hand towel is like?
Yes, there you go. That's me on Mars. See?
And that's Mom, I threw up.
Mom, send money. I would love just to walk on Mars would be, for me, the bucket list. Well,
no, they just determined, originally they thought that you couldn't live on Mars, that if anybody was on Mars, they would be exposed to UV rays and all that stuff, and they couldn't live very long, and it'd be very dangerous. That's not true.
Is there air on Mars?
There's air on Mars.
But not enough to sustain life?
There's enough to sustain certain life. But there's also they also discovered that there is a radiation. There's a gravity belt. There's belts around Mars which prevent the UV from coming through. So they said, no, that's not a problem anymore.
Hey, Josh, put that picture of Mars up. I have a question. Now that he put this picture up, is this an authentic picture of Mars?
He said, hold on one second. He's
Because
going to get us a NASA verified picture.
I have a question about the picture. Okay, look at the sky, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. If this is an original picture from Mars, that sky is blue.
No, it's blue.
That means there has to be oxygen
and water.
It has to be
there
water
is.
to have a blue sky.
There is.
Absolutely.
So if that's true, hypothetically, because the blue comes out of vaporization with clouds and all that, then there should be oxygen on there. It might be
There is oxygen. There is an atmosphere on Mars.
Mm-hmm.
So then there has to be life on Mars.
Well,
was.
I believe there is, and I believe there was life thousands of years ago too.
Brain damage, poor eyesight, shrunken heart, cell mutations, thinning muscles, and weakened bones if we were to live on Mars in our human body.
No.
I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think that this is poor eyesight. Why? Because of the gravitational pull? I don't know.
Probably from the atmosphere. But we would be very stronger on Mars than we are here. Because the gravity there is 1/7 as is here. So.
But are you ever amazed that you write these books and then it all comes out?
It all comes true.
Does it
third eye.
Does it ever amaze you, or do you just now come to expect it?
No, that's the. I guess I've been receiving the message through my third eye.
He writes all of these books, and then it comes out in the news, and all of the things that we're talking about, and Mars, and life on Mars, and what it's like, and mutations, and it's all right there in his books.
Mutations. Well, I think he's a Martian.
Well, you'll see
It's
it in
just
the...
getting people accustomed to it little by little, as Aldo used to say. After a while, when you discuss, I mean, when I first came out on the show about
when
a year
did
ago,
you find out you were a Martian?
well, I found out I was several things actually. A Martian, I don't remember.
When did you find this out?
I guess when I met Aldo, I learned many things. Which
He told you you were a Martian?
No, he never told me. I had to ask him, but it's things that I felt, and he would. When I was drawing things, I actually drew rockets, and I believe like a way station that I do. I mean, I don't expect everybody to believe this, but I believe that there was a way station there for people that were traveling from other planets. This show's taking a whole different turn. They stopped in Mars to fuel,
they put you on a
basically,
ship to here?
and they would come here. I was drawing.
So then let me ask.
Well,
Wait, hold on. You were birthed. You were born from your mom. How did you go from?
No, I wasn't necessarily there at that time, but I believe that's what happened.
Oh, I see.
Because I was drawing there.
So
I don't know where I got that from. It's very similar to.
I wasn't there.
Well, I'm drawing and you're writing, which I was there. It's something that your mind is telling you.
So then when we came here, were we impregnated in our mothers? How does it work? You weren't hatched.
Go ahead, Frank. I turn it over to you.
I think the stork brings you. I don't know.
It's a mighty big stork. I mean, think about it.
All I know is what they're talking about is what's in Frank's books. When I read Frank's books, and then I hear about the fueling station, and I hear about sending people from Earth to the moon and Earth to Mars, and what happens in between. He wrote about it already. It's already there, and it's like now
and
little by little.
They're going to build a hotel in orbit too.
Right.
Okay, so let me
exactly,
ask,
and they're talking about that too.
So
and
Batman,
the cars.
let me ask you a question. Is this prior lives? Is this a different time zone? How is it that you could be here and there?
Or how does it that he knows it?
Well, he must know it because he was there.
You not necessarily have to be there to know it.
Right.
You can receive the information from another source.
Yep.
Okay, and this source knows this occurred.
Yeah.
Which verb is it? Because you wrote about it. Did it happen? Gonna happen? Or it's happening?
Did it happen? Yes. Is it gonna happen? It could.
So you're getting
But anything in the future can change.
Right.
So you're getting messages about the past for the present to
And the
dictate the future?
Anything can change. I'll get a premonition or a message of what could happen
So the object
if we
of
don't change our current path.
So we need to inform people of the opportunity to change, or it's going to become. Because every day it looks a little bit more bleak.
It is. Because we don't want to change.
Interesting. And then I meet you, my favorite Martian.
Well, I was talking to somebody on Friday night. I went out for dinner with some friends.
Oh, Martian?
No, but he works for some company, and he works with climate change for all of the countries around the world. And he gets sent out to different countries to help them fulfill what their promise is to the world as far as climate change. And he says, straws and paper straws that we all think are going to make the difference, that's not going to make the difference. The difference has to be on a larger global scale to actually make a difference. And our countries, all of the countries, have to make this commitment and actually do what they say they're going to do. The paper straws and the electric cars, as nice as it is, really isn't going to change the plight that we are all facing.
Yeah,
it
because
needs to be bigger and global.
Electrical batteries are becoming a bigger problem than the problem.
It needs to be bigger and global.
And also, talking about the oceans, you see where this billionaire put these 10 ships together in the Pacific. Apparently there's a rim of garbage in the Pacific, and they're trying to pick up the waste.
Yeah, I saw that.
So they bring it into the ship, and it gets packed in, and then they bring it to a landfill. Hello. I mean, sending it to a landfill is the same problem on land that you're having in the ocean.
But the thing that's amazing to me is Sally paints it and Frank writes it.
Yeah, that just came to me. As we
Whether
were
it
discussing that.
happened,
It's very
is happening,
similar.
is going to happen.
Yeah.
Their messages they're receiving are very similar messages as to what's going to happen, what has happened. As you always say, it's like we have to catch up, which means maybe this has already happened. And what can happen.
What was the name of the movie? Where there was a guy who, he was an artist and he drew it out, somebody painted it. Something of the third eye, or no.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Yes. Remember
With
that
Richard
movie?
Dreyfuss,
Close Encounters?
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Group of people all were affected by the landing of the encounter. And they didn't understand why. Now, you know that the government has all of this information at their disposal. They know what's going on. At least
You
they
know
have
the
a
real
clip.
story about that movie?
Tell me.
Close Encounters? You know the real story? The government allowed this one director, was going to make a documentary about Close Encounters, that it actually happened. And then when he started to do the movie, the government then came out and said, no, wait, we can't do this. We can't show this. So they sold that information. He got with Steven Spielberg and sold that information to Steven Spielberg, and Steven Spielberg made it as a fiction movie. But that movie was based on an actual occurrence.
I would believe it. I didn't believe it then, but the more I know now, the more it's
Frank,
happening.
I believe that happens a lot. They put it down as fiction in many
There it is.
movies.
So
That-
it was released as fiction,
Yes,
but it actually happened. Not where it happened, but it actually happened.
right.
Do you know, my son was supposed to be hired by a three-letter company in the United States. Put that to the side. And the reason that he didn't take the job, I find out, is what the government does is it creates fake news to push out, to hide the real news.
Yep.
In plain sight. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's an actual science.
You mean
the way
like
they
the
do it.
killer bees that came out after COVID? Or like Cinderella's castle burnt down? Things like that?
Like Cinderella's Castle is a better example, not the killer bees, because I had those bad boys.
Propaganda, hashtag, yes.
Yes, but they don't call it propaganda. What
They call it
do-
news.
Well, they
call it-
legalized it. That's why it's not
They-
propaganda
They
anymore.
hire you to come up
It was
with a little
2013 they legalized it.
spot, and then people believe it. No, you know, another one was the Clorox in the veins that kills
Injecting
COVID.
Clorox, yeah.
Inject yourself with Clorox.
Yeah, don't do it.
12 people died because they thought it was true, right? So they push it out so that you don't believe the truth. You get caught up in the story of the truth.
There's
And
also a lot of subliminal messages too
Yeah.
that are there.
So you end up believing something that isn't real. Like the Pacific Ocean being the trash basin of the world. Apparently they got like country-size garbage, plastics, in the middle of the ocean. And now somebody's going in there to try to clean it. But I want to know what they do with it. Because they put it out there to begin with. Where is it? Where's it going to go? What would you do with garbage? And you can't burn it. I would put it in a ship and send it to the sun.
It's a big problem we have. I don't know. We got a lot of big problems. All I know is we got to stick together and try to figure this out.
Well, if you're not terrified yet, just read his books.
Because now you've terrified me. My stomach hurts.
If you want to get more
I
terrified. What
feel
is
like
that?
there's
That's the garbage?
I feel like there's no way
Look
out.
at this thing. There's enough work there to clean that bad boy up for years.
And then what do you do with it?
And then what do you do with it? You can't put it in cement and build a building, can you? Because that stuff ain't going to work. So what do you do with it?
I feel like you've really upset me now.
Well, you recycle it and make plastic straws.
There you go.
And there you go. That's what you look like when they recycle you.
Ever notice my feet are never like everybody else's?
Yeah, why is your feet crossed? Don't you? How do you stand? What are you, an
picture,
ostrich?
everyone's like ready to go, and my feet are crossed. In a past life.
A dancer.
I asked if you were a dancer.
Everybody asks me that because I think my feet are always like that. My feet are always crossed.
Do you do that on purpose?
No. How could I do that on purpose? I would fall on
Or
my
you were
face.
standing there doing it, and eventually your feet talk to your brain.
But
I haven't answered. We'll talk about it after the show, but it's very strange that you even mentioned that. Now everyone's going to wonder what this was all about.
And in every picture they keep taking, my feet just don't look like anybody else's feet. They're just not in
Well, you
alignment.
have 6 toes on each foot.
Oh my gosh.
And they're webbed.
All right, we're going to take a commercial
Other
break.
than that, she's normal.
More to come on the other side. We want to talk about your Spotlight Talent Agency, and we're going to talk with Douglas, and I think we've got some pictures about some upcoming events that he's got going on this week.
And he's working on the ocean stuff.
So more to come on the other side. And is Priscilla coming?
Is that what we're working on?
With Sea Sirens?
That's
All
what
right.
we've been waiting for, actually.
All right, so more to come with that, and we'll see you on the other side of this commercial break.
Do you want the opportunity to have a TV show or podcast? Now, at Amp Media Productions, you can host your very own visual broadcast anywhere around the world. With our talented group of creators, we will provide you with show elements, board operations, and any on-screen visuals you'd like to showcase. All you must do is log onto your computer and communicate with your viewers. Contact Amp Media Productions at 866-224-5422 or email hello@amp2.tv to start your own show today.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
What if this happened to you when you're alone? Or what if it happened here? With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Don't wait. Call us to get your Care Watch right now. Operators are standing by.
South Florida. Are you ready? Backed by popular demand, the True Oldies channel presents the 1-800-ALARM-ME Saturday Night Dance Fever. Live in concert. Tavares. The Tramps featuring Earl Young. Evelyn Champagne King. The legendary Blue Notes. George McRae. The Cover Girls. The Sugar Hill Gang. Hosted by Denny Terrio. Saturday, March 23rd at Meisner Park Amphitheater in Boca Raton. It's the 1-800-ALARM-ME Saturday Night Dance Fever. Live in concert. Tickets on sale now at TrueOldiesFLA.com. Brought to you by 1-800-ALARM-ME, The Robes Law Group, North Star Memorial Gardens, and Lifegate Acupuncture.
Love the Brooklyn Cafe? Don't miss out on some of the latest merch we have available. Need a new shirt? The Brooklyn Cafe has you covered. We have a variety of shirts in all sizes, ranging from the classic cafe shirt to the highly coveted colorful hot dog shirt. Need something for cold weather? Why not grab one of our cafe hoodies? Or you can snuggle up with one of our soft silk touch fabric blankets. The Brooklyn Cafe has everything you need, from clothing about the show to our signature coffee blends and mugs. Get it while supplies last.
Stephanie Jaffe is a world-renowned artist who creates one-of-a-kind pieces. Using a keen sense of color and composition, her vibrant collages and mosaics integrate eclectic elements such as vintage keepsakes and fine china with blown glass and fired clay to create whimsical arrangements. For more information about her work, come down to the Brooklyn Cafe TV studio or go to StephanieJaffeArt.com.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Hello, everyone. So, I guess, as you can see, I'm going to talk about my favorite books and my current reads at the moment and the most recent movie I watched. I just finished The Will to Change by Bell Hooks. It's about men, masculinity, and love. And I think it was really insightful and challenged my own thinkings. And I think if you want to challenge yourself, definitely read this. It's an easy read. The language really isn't difficult. But she is a feminist thinker, so there is a lot of feminist ideals in here, and I enjoyed it very much. So give it a go. Right now, I'm currently reading Iron Flame, which is a fun little fantasy book. It's the second book to Fourth Wing. So if you're interested in fantasy and love a little romance, dragons, war, all that, definitely give these a go. They are adult fantasy, so just know that. But now for the most recent movie I just watched. I watched Poor Things this past weekend, and I think I'm gonna give it a 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. If you enjoy difficult topics and difficult conversations like toxic masculinity, I think that you would like this movie. It is rated R, so there is some very graphic content. Other than that, I think it's a great movie, and it really gets you thinking. So that's my thoughts.
First book.
Yes.
What perspective did it change for you?
I think it kind of made me think about my own, toxic masculinity that I had towards myself, that you kind of just get from society. Because she talks about her relationship with her father. I have a great relationship with my father, so that didn't really, but it opened my perspective on the way sometimes you let people treat you and you don't even realize you're doing it. So
But is it
it's
your
kind of-
thought, or is it actually the way people are treating you?
No, definitely my own thoughts on it, but some people treat you horribly. And I think this kind of just showed me how, like, some people feel they need to act a certain way because society kind of implants that on you just growing up. So kind of made me rethink some things in relationships with people.
Toxic masculinity.
Not
That's
only
impressive.
in men, but in women too.
What does that mean
That's
in women?
I mean, it's kind of just how you grow up. Sometimes you conform to certain gender stereotypes or just stereotypes in general, and you don't even realize you're doing it.
So the stereotypes are
That is
created. You walk in, and all of a sudden you're part of that whole mess, even though you didn't intend to be.
Well,
in
it's
that.
like girls playing
Yeah.
with Barbies and guys
Yeah,
playing
you're
with trucks.
born into that. It's not really your fault, to be honest. Like you said, even at, like, you know, gender reveals or whatever, if they already know it's going to be a girl, they automatically put pink everywhere. You can put other colors in pink. It's just kind of my perspective on that.
That's true about the dolls. They didn't let me play with Barbie. I played with G.I. Joe.
But now I wonder if it's different for your generation and then the generation now, like your grandkids. Are the boys playing with boy toys? You just babysat for them, or is it more gender-neutral toys? Whatever or like blocks.
Well, I didn't see that because they had 5,000 toys out there. But
What were they playing with?
They had Aquaman. They get dressed up like Spider-Man. I didn't see no females.
So boy things.
I guess.
You didn't see them playing with like Juliana's toys?
I didn't go look. Juliana plays with Joey's toys.
So they're more gender. I guarantee you she'll have gender-specific toys.
You know, there must be really something wrong with me. Seriously. I think I need 4
because you don't
bifocals.
pay attention?
No, because when I was coaching, I had a shortstop female on my baseball team. She went on to be all-state at Pittsburgh University. She got a scholarship. Father and me are still friends because of her athleticism. I never saw, I always said in Little League, girls should be playing anyway. I never saw a girl, female. I didn't look at it that. There must really be something wrong with me. I see that being a problem, not the solution. I always had girls play. I had an all-state football girl play on one of my teams that won a championship, and she was the defensive nose tackle. And so when I gave out the cups, because you had to wear a cup when you were a guy, she says, "What am I supposed to do with this?" I said, "Oh, nothing." But she was a female, and she was one of the best. I don't know. I never saw girls and guys sports.
I never even thought about toxic masculinity in girls. I guess your relationship with your father or men in your life? Not yours, but people in general.
Just really in general. Sometimes you don't realize you're letting people treat you a certain way just because you think that's how it's supposed to be or how it's always been. It's kind of what she touches on.
What's wrong, Toby?
And what happens then when you have kids? Now I got to tell you, this is a shocker because Gio has a girl and a boy. Freddie has 3 boys now. He's gonna have 3.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is how you treat the girls that come into the family, which I'm excited about because you always want to have a girl and a boy. But the funny thing is, it's how you view it, how you look at it, how you treat it. My sister, she got away with murder, Mimi. But they also demanded more of my sister. That's why my sister has 2 masters. You know, holy smokes, my sister has 2 masters.
Pretty impressive.
I'm shocked. She can't even open a jar of peanut butter.
She probably can. She just chooses not to. That's the difference.
That's an impressive segment. Thank you for
Nice
doing
job.
that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's impressive.
We should have you start reading Frank's books.
Okay.
And give us a synopsis.
For sure.
I like that segment. Surprise. So, as Gomer Pyle would say, surprise, surprise, surprise. Remember that?
No. Yes.
All right, we've got the whole trio over there. Are they all in that camera shot, Kennedy? All right, we've got, oh my gosh, from left to right, Alicia, Priscilla, and Douglas.
Hey.
Hello. Hey guys, what's happening
Hello,
over there?
hello, everybody.
Hello.
Now he's wearing his safari hat.
This has got to be big if Priscilla's here during the day.
I'm
feeling
shocked.
like I didn't know she was coming, and I'm not sure what this is even all about.
Agree. I agree with you. I didn't know I was coming too, but I am a good filler.
Which is impressive.
You're not a filler. You're Priscilla.
Well, that's what I'm doing.
Priscilla the
filler at all,
I'm kidding.
Are we going to talk about sea sirens?
So what are we talking about?
We're talking about a few things. First, just to kind of go back to the beautiful conversation that everyone was having in regards to the book, in regards to books in Florida. I think it's amazing that we're having this conversation about books in Florida, considering what we're going through in Florida with books. So I just want to give you guys and everybody that's still writing books and still promoting books props. I love the conversation about the moon. We're here with Sea Sirens right now, and she has, Priscilla specifically. We just token a slogan, from the sea to the moon, and it's pretty awesome what she's going to talk about with what she's been doing with her art. I did have a question. I didn't want to interrupt. It's kind of a lot, but after just listening to the conversation, I guess the point I want to make is if we don't take care of this planet, how the hell are we going to get to another planet?
Exactly. My thoughts exactly.
And so
yes.
that's what we're, here to kind of just talk about what Eat Up, which is my company, and Sea Sirens have been partnering on for the last year, which is ultimately planet health, which consists of the blue and the green economies, which is the ocean, land, air, and sea. And so we have a party that we created called Eco-Bougie, Party with the Purpose. And what we do is use our platform to disrupt, to raise awareness for all of the causes that are near and dear to our organization's heart, which is the blue and the green economy. And we do it once a month. We've been pulling it together by the strings.
Oh my goodness, have we? And I mean, it's an awesome, awesome event. And I love to invite everyone at the station. You guys can do whatever you want. We're super excited about what's happening on Thursday, the last day of the month. Remember, this is a leap year, so we chose the 29th. And it's really significant to us because we have to celebrate that too, It's a leap year, the last day of the month of Black History Month as well. And we're intertwining also with South American Latinos. And, Douglas, please take over.
Absolutely. We're pretty much doing, it's portions. The first conversation we're going to have is the Afro-Latino connection. The second conversation is with geo-ag, how we're using geo-agriculture to plant, to grow. Without fertilizer, you can pretty much grow fruit, vegetation with stones. But on a bigger project, after speaking with Sea Sirens in regards to what they do, especially what Priscilla's done in the Caribbean with the deployment of the artificial reefs and raising some of the islands to help combat rising sea levels, we have to raise. One of the solutions is having to raise the coastline. So there's a lot of different projects that we get in with that.
Can you guys fill us in on what Sea Sirens is?
Sure. Sea Sirens, actually, if you want to go back to the roots, it came through a fear, and I broke a fear by diving in the ocean, and I got my certificate in Egypt, and it was a fluke because I had no idea that I was ever going to get involved with that. And I was dragged into the ocean and said, you're going to see the most pristine ocean in the world. And I did, got my diving license, came back to Florida. When I dove here, I remembered my diving instructor saying, you're going to be very disappointed because you're looking at something pristine to you're going to see what happens in Florida. And he was completely right. When I dove, it was depleted. There was sludge on the reefs. There were dead reefs. And that didn't resonate well with me. I was working in the corporation world and as an art director, and they saw me. They offered me a job to reconnect with resilience, to also help an island in Bahamas go from the traditional building blocks to innovative, more resistant to weathering like hurricanes, and as well as keeping it ecotourism like. So I came up with a body of work that was deployed under the ocean over there. I was the first woman to ever create a curated exhibition, a permanent underwater. So that was a huge milestone for me in my career. And this was all part of Norwegian Cruise Line's private island of Great Stirrup Cay. So passengers gets the chance to see this every time they go to Bahamas because they stop by their private island. And from there, I just, I'm being a mother and seeing what's happening to my child's future. I'm like, we have to take a stand. We can create documentaries. We can talk about the problem, but there's part A and part B. So part B is creating solutions. And that's why it attracted me to actually connect with Miami. Miami is kind of the peak point, number one region in the United States that is actually experiencing at a very high rate what is global warming, whatever you want to call climate change, if you want to call that, but a change in the weather pattern. You guys know, being Floridians, when a storm hits, Brickell gets flooded. So all those beautiful high rises, guess what? It's all flooded. Same thing with South Beach. They invested $55 million to create better function of the water system for pumping water out so that South Beach is not flooded. If we don't take a stand to coming up with solution-driven projects, what are we doing? So, and this is what our mission is, Sea Sirens. We work with children with STEAM education. We help them come up with ideas, and they actually give us ideas because children, they don't have boundaries. They don't have this thing called, as for adults, we tend to have not only we hit a plateau sometimes in our mindset thinking that we can't, and kids they have a very vivid and their imagination they have no boundaries, so.
But Priscilla, let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. So let's take Brickell, because I used to work down there, which is better now than it was back in the day. It was an ocean, even if it rained.
Right.
But the problem is, because we are a peninsula, we are, for a theory, almost an island, is when the oceans swell, you can't put that water back in the ocean. What do you do with it?
Exactly.
Where are you going to put it?
It's pumping out. It's going back in and out, in and out, in and out. We actually have I wish we had it today, but this is something we could bring back, the simulation that Save Miami campaign created.
So Save Miami, and so with the Save Miami campaign, which is going to be the next portion of the activation on Thursday, we're working with AR, VR, and XR. So they show you these different simulations that's been created in the glasses this Thursday as well. And it's something that we've been working on since last year. And then we go into the, just to kind of finish up with the activations, then we go into the Flow Film Festival that talks about for 2024 with Kimberly. Kimberly's, I saw on the show. Kimberly's amazing. I just want to shout out Flow Film Festival. Specifically, we're going to be looking at a film from South America, specifically the number one wetland in the world. It's going to be called, it's the Pantanal, the charred wetland, and it burned, and then in 2020, they did a real study with all the data, so we're going to have that data to kind of just show you as well. And then once we do, that's the feature for the opening night for Flow Film Festival. So it's going to be a good time to come out, not only for just the panel talks, but Priscilla's going to be introducing with the artists. Stephen Avi, El Gato, he's going to be performing. I'm going to be performing. The artists are going to, Ekaterina and Heaven's Sake are going to be doing live art. Alicia's going to be co-hosting. It's going to be food and drink specials all night long. But this is what we do. This is disrupt to get the message out. So then, we one drink at a time, one sip at a time, saving the world, just disrupting and just trying to, make it so that the 2030 agenda that has been put on for the climate change, along with our partners, we're able to fulfill those as much as we can to reverse the damage that's,
What Douglas was talking about also with the simulation is of Brickell being underwater. So you will get the chance to see that over there. And what it happens, the program that we use is Unreal. And we created a whole entire scanning of Brickell, Miami, of the city. And what happened was,
XR Labs.
yeah, XR Labs did this project with Miami. Is it Miami AR or Miami Verse?
Miami Verse.
Yes.
And Climb Go.
And yes, and the AR Miami.
And XR Miami as well. Oh,
AR Miami as well.
So what is
yeah,
the,
so this
the
is a really
purpose of
big one.
Thursday night is to bring awareness to what's
Yes.
going on?
Awareness, but that awareness needs to, the goal is so you can because without, we can tell you everything, we see what's going on, but our goal is solutions based. So the people that we work with the AR, the VR, and the XR, they're taking this problem and putting the solution inside of the visual goggles so you can see the simulation.
What do you think some of the solutions are?
I don't think the solutions are there yet on the goggles. I think that's going to be part B. They're still going to be working on that. This is something that it's creating data. We're collecting data, right? And then we are using AI. That's something that's we're doing and that's happening. And what AI does, it helps us come up with a solution. With a solution-driven problem, that we showcase it, and it helps us come up with multiple different avenue solutions.
Okay, but let's talk about the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Is the problem you're talking about climate change? Is the problem we're talking about Miami climate change?
Miami, mostly because we're the #1 region in all of the United States that is experiencing extreme, like, changes more than anything else. If you follow the news, you will see how much bleaching has happened with the corals in this past year. And it has been an exponential rate to the point that scientists are saying we cannot keep up. So how can we make a difference? And we are looking at tech, AI, solution-based projects, innovations, so we can come up with better solutions. So when people say, well, what do you mean by that? Well, there are so many different variants that we can actually go into when it comes to designing and showcasing it. And doing this will also help different projects receive grants, and also have content so that when they are showcasing or talking about their projects, they'll be able to have the right people, to connect to at our events.
And to the question that was asked from both, yes, it's a combination of all of the above. It's climate. It's a combination of climate change. It's a combination of building so much on the coastline that it's sinking the. It's a combination of everything that's going on that's creating these problems that we have. And so as we were speaking about what's the solutions, I think with GeoAg, one of the solutions that I talked about to Dr. Richard Campbell was, in Priscilla as well, was in regards to the limestone. When you're raising the coastline, when you're raising these islands, we've even talked to somebody that does coral restoration work, or just restoration work, and how the sea berry, the plant, help with the roots of the sea berry. They're able to absorb a lot of the water along the coastline. And so I guess what it is like it's tackling, for the 2030 agenda, it's trying to tackle the lowest hanging fruit with using technology, specifically AR, XR, and VR, and the metaverse as a solution.
Sometimes the problem is that when you try to resolve an issue, it creates a different problem. I remember when I first came down to Florida and I was on the Tampa side, the sands were being eroded. And there was a different type of storm on that side coming from the west as it was coming from the east. So they brought these dredges out from the ocean, and there were these huge pipes that were bringing in sand from out in the ocean. And that became a different problem because it shifted what was going on out there. And these were naturally creating situations like red tide and things of that nature.
That's another thing. What happened is man disrupts nature, right? And then nature takes
fights back.
Fights back, and you can't fight nature.
But I think with the technology, now in place, we're able to simulate and show what can possibly, like before with the dredges, you know what I'm saying, with technology now to be able to create that and simulate that, it'll show that effect. So then maybe there's an alternate route of going. So that's the beauty of using, you know, that's the beauty of because, you know, there's a whole conversation about, you know, AI is going to take this.
It's what mankind and technology have done to our planet. And again, back to your books. You know, we talk about the mining on the moon, and it was so great to land on the moon, and then people start diamond mining on the moon, and what happens, right? Then you got a problem on the moon. And technology is great, and now we've got this great problem in these beautiful cities that we live in, and how do we restore it, and how do we bring homeostasis back to our plants, to the sea life, to all of the things, instead of continuing to build because we want more.
Absolutely, John.
Well, stopping to build is one thing, right? And if we are to build, we need to rebuild with different materials. Materials are more resilient and more eco. It's coming back from the earth. Yeah, you know, I mean, it's only like common sense. Florida, we make buildings out of rectangles and squares, and homes as well. When you have high winds, you want to have more of a circular corners.
There are buildings.
This is all
there
physics.
There are buildings in Miami that were built that way. Because when I was down there, they gave me a tour, and these buildings are all, you know, man has abandoned responsibility because of the almighty dollar. And Florida has become the new New York City. People are coming down here because of the weather. You don't have to stop production like you do in New York when it gets too cold. Equipment doesn't work well out in the cold, so they make the movies where it's warm. Except they stop making movies here.
Exactly.
Because of the almighty dollar again. But the problem you're going to have is, do you know, they started an airport out in the Everglades. The largest airport in the world is located here in Florida. Did you know this?
Which one is it?
I don't know, because they never finished it.
Oh.
Because they found out when they started to pour the concrete that all the birds and everything started to die off. So some group got together with some money. But the remnants is still there. There still is an airport there that people use very, very, very sporadically. But they were going to make the largest airport. It would have been 5 JFK airports.
Well, look what happened to your project 20 years ago on the west coast of Florida.
It's another thing. I brought that in. I showed Dawn that I did come down here, and I was shut down because biologically I couldn't build when they found what they found, which was turtles or whatever the hell it was. And I couldn't continue. But what I'm saying is, if you have enough money and power, they're going to continue to grow this way.
Right.
They don't go down because we're really sand.
Correct. We're in sinkholes. People, we don't realize it. We're living in sinkholes.
Yes.
Florida there are an abundant amount of sinkholes, you know? So people need to be mindful of that too. But I'm pretty sure that by the end, this is what I heard. Okay, we are pushing some products. Save Miami has a program that we're working on too, on projects and how we can push coding for the state of Florida, and when it comes to construction and building. So this whole aspect of it, which is it's huge. This is going to be big in the near future. But it's all about also the transitioning, showcasing, okay, we've been doing this for X amount of years, okay? It's not working now because we change our cell phones all the time, don't we? So we have to start changing other things too. So let's go. We got to
you have materials back in the day when I worked down in Miami, they had the Green Project. And there's a certification where the building material had to be 80% green.
We met someone who was building concrete out of seaweed, was it?
That's right, out of seaweed. Because the government would not fund you if you didn't go environmentally safe.
Is that still going on now, or?
Oh, sure, it is.
Oh, nice.
But the problem is, as you get taller, because the buildings in Miami is beginning to look like New York City now.
Of course, and it's not good.
The environmental stuff can't go on top. It has to stay at
to
a
grow.
level.
Right.
So that's changed. There's a lot of stuff that you can do, but it's very expensive. So if it costs you $1 to build a building, and now it's going to cost you $100 to build a building, you're never going to rent it. Do you understand? It's
that's
equilibrium.
that's what I think, Freddie. Like that's where.
Yeah.
That's where it's at, and that's where it's at. That's where the disruption comes in. That's where,
it's becoming Manhattan.
This conversation. That's where this
know?
conversation comes from, because like we know we can't go up because. So what do we do? And this is where everything that we're trying to do with what we're doing with Eco-Bougie, Party with a Purpose.
Where is the event on Thursday?
It's going to be at Terras, and it's a Terras rooftop. It's a beautiful Terras.
Yes.
Which
it's
is
at
where?
the Lighthouse Hotel in Little Havana. Beautiful green, serene rooftop. We'd love to have everybody to come out to enjoy, have this conversation, enjoy entertainment, enjoy the food and beverage.
Well, I think the victory is to be able to have the conversations. I think I would love to see a think tank put together.
Absolutely, Fred.
Not threaten people to say, I'm going to take your money away, because the moment you do that, they're going to shut you down.
Of course.
But look at One Hotel. One Hotel is such a bourgeoisie. It's just like you can see the people that spend their money to do that. That's how they want it to be. Like the One Hotel, they want it to smell good and feel good and be eco-bougie. You know what I mean? Just to have that opportunity.
But look at your Miami Heat. The basketball team comes and they win 3 years or whatever they won. The numbers. I got to go to a game. I could not believe the amount of people that were outside the stadium.
We're not going to stop people from being eco-bougie. We're not going to stop people from being bougie. We're not going to stop people from wanting more and more and more.
And that's
just do it green. Just do it green.
But exactly. So the compromise is do it in a way that helps our planet, that stimulates growth, that keeps our economy where it's going, and we can have even more economic growth if we're saving the coral reefs, if we're saving the plants, if we're helping redevelop nature.
And ecotourism too.
And ecotourism.
Well, look at
Find
the
a better
Hard
way.
Rock Stadium. Oh my God, that place is gorgeous.
Yep.
But everything that went in there and everything they've put around it, it's like going to a discotheque. Yeah, forget about the game. What game? I love the lights. I love the action. I love the, it's become attractive to be in Miami. It really has. You want to be here. But that was all set up. That they stopped doing films makes no sense.
Makes no sense.
Can I ask why? Because I don't know why, actually.
Frank says money.
It's all about money.
It's all about money.
If you
They
have to
stop
pay,
because of the money?
It stopped because of the lack of money.
and you have to pay to make a movie here, as opposed to you go to Atlanta, where they got a 25-year, make all the movies you want.
But the tax incentives is a huge part of it. That's what really made the film industry in Florida suffer.
Yes, back in the day.
An investor wants to know. An investor wants to make sure he's going to get his money back.
Yes, at
So
least-
why would a movie company
Take a chance.
take a chance and film a movie in Florida without incentives when they can go to Atlanta and get millions of dollars back from the state to put a movie there?
And Atlanta did it right. They encourage movie making there. They give you money to make a movie. Do you know how hard it is to get a sign outside your business? Are you serious?
Look at our side.
We don't have no sign. It costs a lot of money. You got to, and then if your grandfather, then good luck with that. Miami has some very old buildings.
Right.
So if you're going to build a building next to a very old building,
Right.
I guarantee you ain't. Or you better have some big dollars, because it takes money to do that. And the problem we're having here, ladies and gentlemen, is that we are our own mistakes. We made Miami. I came down here when the Cocaine Cowboys were running Miami. I don't even know if you guys know what that is. I saw them shooting in the streets down in Miami. The boards up on the businesses. I used to tell Eddie Perez, what the hell are we doing down here? But the union wanted to come into Miami.
Can you imagine making buildings out of hemp if you could do concrete hemp?
You probably can.
Bet
They do
you can,
cars.
right?
We do. There
do
are
cars like that.
certain
Now it's going to
companies.
be more money, but
Well, all of a sudden, your building just went up, $10 a foot, $20, $30 a foot. You got to remember, when you build something, the investor wants to know, how do I get my money back? And if you can't rent it, they're not going to put the money.
Well, there's a sand mafia, just so you know.
Excuse me?
There's a sand mafia.
A sand mafia?
Yes, because we're running out of sand.
Yes.
You understand?
And
Because we
this
keep
is
putting,
a whole
because we
nother
keep putting on
conversation.
buildings.
Well,
So,
there's,
you
there's a lot
understand?
of problems, and I just hope that it's successful enough to have conversations. I'm not looking for solutions yet.
Right.
If they entertain a conversation, then I think the battle is there, and it can go either way. It's like on any given Sunday. Same thing with the movie business. If we can get people to understand that making movies here is practical and makes sense. And I'm going to tell you, DeSantis, he's pro-business. He really is. He wants to do what he can to bring, I mean, he does no taxes and everything else. Can you imagine if this state had a tax? Forget about it. People would be like, I ain't going down there. But it's beautiful. The weather's beautiful. They got skiing.
You could do sunrise and sunset.
In North Florida. You know you can go skiing in Florida?
I didn't know that, but you could film sunrise and sunset on the ocean. That's the beauty of Florida.
Okay, we got to take a commercial break. More to come on the other side of this break. We got to also talk to Sally. Get ready for Call Me Zena.
Sally, we're going to ask you what the hell's going on, so get ready.
More to come. They're telling me we got to go to commercial break. 888-994-4995, Studio A. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Breaking news, aliens have finally made contact with. Welcome to the AMP Media Studios here in beautiful downtown Boca Raton.
In conjunction with True Oldies Radio South Florida, AMP Media Productions is here to help amplify your impact in business and to bring greater awareness to our community. Give us a call, 866-224-5422. We'll see you soon at the cafe.
And like I always say, come on down and visit us and don't be late. Anna!
When it comes to protecting what matters most, your family, your business, your peace of mind, you need reliable fire protection. Introducing All Fire Extinguisher Depot, Fire Extinguisher Service. Our certified technicians ensure your extinguishers are always ready to respond to emergencies. Before and after, we leave your fire safety in top-notch condition. Join the many satisfied clients who trust All Fire Extinguisher Depot for fire extinguisher service. Because when it comes to fire safety, there's no compromise. Contact All Fire Extinguisher Depot at 786-704-2750 to get your extinguisher service today. Your safety is our priority. That's at 786-704-2750. All Fire Extinguisher Depot, protecting what matters.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. I am so glad today we got an early start. Where are we headed anyway?
Who knows? Wherever this glorious day takes us, and we'll take Don Pablo along too. Rich and flavorful with low acidity and notes of caramel. No matter where you're going or where you end up, Don Pablo never disappoints.
Excuse me, is that Don Pablo coffee?
Sure is.
Do you have any more?
Sure do. Then hop in.
No matter where life takes you, Don Pablo Coffee is always there to pick you up.
Hey Kaylee, what's up?
Hey, nothing, what's up?
Nothing, just looking for music for Grandpa I listen to while we're in the car.
What's wrong with listen to now?
Let's just say we have different tastes, you know?
Why don't you try listen to a podcast on Spotify?
Like which one?
The Broken Cafe Studio one is really good.
Okay, I'll try that one out, thanks.
It's lunchtime and the Broken Cafe is open for business. Live from the AMP Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought.
This is Smoke Barbecue. We're located in Fort Lauderdale at 3351 Northeast 32nd Street, Fort Lauderdale 33308. Our website is www.eatsmokebbq.com. It's EATSMOKEBBQ.com. You can order online. We also do catering for 10 to 10,000.
If you are looking to bring your family out to an incredible food venue, this is the place. We're at Smoke Barbecue in East Fort Lauderdale. Everything is amazing. You can see their faces on our crew, and the amount of food that they have taken down in about 15 minutes is absolutely unbelievable.
And we're still going. I can't talk them either. And everything is coming. So here, let's eat.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we back. I'm still out of that light. I'm still. Would you fix the camera?
I think you keep growing during commercial break.
No, she keeps changing it because she doesn't like the line. That's okay.
I know,
I
but
like the line. Don't touch it.
every time Margaret gets up, I get nervous. I just need Margaret to sit down. I feel much safer when Margaret's sitting down.
Why?
She gets up, she goes to the bathroom, she gets a cup of coffee,
want her
there's
to pee in the
speakers.
seat?
No, I just need to make sure she's safe. What
We are
happened
heating
to
it up. We're heating it. We're making a new.
Look
pot.
at these two. We got Sally and Frank together as a third eye club. You see these two? Now at least I feel like all might be right with the world. Before that, I can't even tell you. I'm a little nervous about what's going on in the world, but I feel like we're good now.
This looks like a toe, right?
Yeah, oh yes. Because we've got them on the same page, then we're all good.
They're on the same page?
Yes. Look at them. Third eye. Just wait till today's show. What's happening on Call Me Zena today, Sally?
I think it's about past lives, right? Yes. Anybody that's listening and they want to know who they were in a previous life, well, call in.
Someone was telling me that our soul family are thousands and thousands within our soul families. Is that true?
Yeah, but we don't all incarnate at the same time. So, I mean, but this is, again, this is what I hear and what I believe. So we come in at different times, but we maybe come in with different, it's just like our family, we have ancestors.
So do we incarnate as human beings or as animals?
No, I believe, this is me, once you're a human, but we learn here as humans, and then we
So I'm not going to come back as a whale.
I don't think so.
Or
Some
a
people
giraffe.
do believe that, but I don't,
Or cucaracha.
I'll let you know
Because
when
I'll be really upset if I come back as a cucaracha.
Okay.
But don't
I'll
worry,
tell you right
I
now.
won't squish you. I'll free
Oh
you.
no, I'll be looking for you.
I will free you.
I'll
do
be the
not
first
squish them.
flying cucaracha. I tell you that right
Actually,
now.
I have to say though, everything Aldo told me, I see and it's come about. But one thing he did say, that animals do change and they do become humans when they've gone
They
higher
evolve?
up. That's what he said. This is the only thing I can honestly say that I didn't
I can see
feel that-
Casper being me.
It's like when you kiss a frog, they can become a
I stopped
Prince
kissing frogs
Charming.
a long time ago.
Become a
Sorry.
Prince
I
Charming.
stopped. I don't like kissing a frog.
But we evolve as humans and we keep evolving.
I'm afraid to find out what she's going to tell me about crossing my legs. I have a
Oh, no,
feeling
this
it has
is
to do with a
remind
past
me,
life.
There's a giraffe in another leg.
Is it a past life thing?
A flamingo.
Yes, it is. Yes, it's a
It's
past
a past life
Now,
thing.
and let me ask you a question. So Dawn was a flamingo. Okay. So let me ask you, how is it that you are able to see people's past lives? How
Don't
does
have
that-
a clue. It just happens to me. I hear. I don't. Well, I can see. I do see, but I hear much more. And I was never a believer of past lives up until about 22 years ago. It was nice to think about it, but I really didn't believe it.
Now I'm afraid. I'm afraid to even ask Frank. Frank, is it true past lives exist?
You want my belief?
Yes.
No.
It's one life and done?
One life and done.
So all this work that we go through, Frank, the end game is one life and done?
One life, well, it's not done. It's one life.
Yeah, but then when you're done, you're saying. There's no
No, you're not
after.
done.
Something
Your
happens.
life continues in a different plane.
Different plane.
In the spiritual realm.
See, that makes sense to me because then you'll be able to see. Like, she could be here from another plane. That's why she's able to see other planes below her.
You're like when your soul lives on, so your life is not done. Your body is done,
I kind of like my body.
but your life is not done.
But I don't really think there's too much of a disagreement here, because I also do believe that you live on and you go to different, well, similar to what you're saying, actually, we go to different planes.
You go to a different,
I mean,
depending
we
on
have a
what
different
your
point
belief
of
is,
view,
that's
but-
either heaven or someplace else, but your soul goes back to the Creator.
It's funny because there are things in my life that I see that certain people I met before. And I don't know how that happens. So we've talked about this. So, like you take Alicia, I met her somewhere, I don't know where. But then I think about it, or I wake up from a dream. And there are like messages that I've seen her before.
Well, this is how I began to believe in past lives. Past, I was drawing many things from previous lifetimes that I'd never seen in this lifetime. So I was pretty stubborn about not believing it until you get that feeling, and I'm not contradicting Frank in any way because we all have our own points of view. But what was happening to me is that I felt comfortable with some people. I felt uncomfortable. And I thought, why would I have that feeling? I've never met that person. But the more I began to kind of go into that more, when I met someone I believe that I honestly knew from another life, you have an instant recognition. Although you might not actually voice it, but you feel very comfortable with that person. Can I prove this? No. But I don't know how I was drawing things that I've never seen in this lifetime. So I began to open up much more and paid more notice of people that I was meeting because that vibrational energy was there. Somehow we connect with each other. This is what I feel. I think
then
this
there are
is
people that we just don't resonate with.
Absolutely. So just like in any lifetime, there are people you like and you don't like. So I think that carries it over to when we come back here.
But ever walk into a room and you had never even met the person and you already feel either you want to meet them or I think I don't want to.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Happens to me all the time. Yeah, it happens to me all the time.
Yes.
I can walk into a room and I can walk into a room and pick out people that I don't want to be associated with.
So where is that coming from? If you think about it, I began to
You
think
guys
more
tell
about
us.
that. No, I'm just putting it out there.
We're trying to figure that out.
I kind of think my belief will tell me kind of, but I don't expect everybody to believe the way that I believe this.
You know, it's funny. I see somebody, I get along with them, I like it. I see somebody else, I don't get along with it, and I still like it because it becomes a challenge to figure out why.
Right, but you know something that maybe we're overlooking because the other person will also feel the same way as we do because if it's something from another lifetime, they're going to have that feeling about us too, and we don't, but we're more aware now, well, okay, maybe we should forgive them because we had problems in another lifetime.
See, like I feel like I know Margaret from another lifetime. Her soul, not her, but something about her spirit. You're a whole nother story, but Margaret,
Well, yeah,
yes.
but the moment we met, there was an instant connection, Dawn, you know.
And I think I know where that lifetime, but she doesn't remember it.
She
so
doesn't.
I know.
No,
We've
she
talked
doesn't.
about
But
it.
she's been around me for 30 years, so
We've talked
she's
about that
thinking
lifetime.
about it.
I got something interesting, just to kind of tap into that as a writer and as an artist. There's a song that came to me that I wrote years ago called "Past Lives," and it came, and like a lot of the songs, they come to you. I don't know. I mean, or even as a writer, I mean, when you're writing a book, I don't know how the inspiration comes, but there's that when you're in that space. Who knows what that space is, what realm that is, but when that portal opens for creativity and it pours into you, and the words, the sound, the melody, the dance, the stroke, whatever your medium is, when it flows, for me, that's that that outer-worldly experience. And the song was Past Lives, and it'll be released shortly. But it takes you through these different decades of like real love, like the Shakespearean love, the cosmic love, the immortal love, and then it goes into the love of between Israel and ultimately Palestine. And the lyrics just came. It took a while. It took the song a while to develop, right? It didn't come like flowing out.
But did you feel like once it starts to
Oh,
flow,
my gosh.
that's exactly what happens with my art. And I mean, I'm totally lost there. And
But
I'm
it's a beautiful
painting, I
space.
have no idea what I've even painted. It's on a canvas and
Mm-hmm.
it's there, but I don't even sometimes recall doing that.
What if it's
because
ancestors?
It's all about frequency. There's a frequency, and anything that gets close to that a frequency, good things begin to happen. And I think that the positive people are closer to that a frequency, and people that aren't so positive are further away from it. Because I've met different scenarios. I've seen people switch on a dime.
Do you ever get uncomfortable in situations like but there's no reason to feel uncomfortable, but your body just feels uneasy?
No.
But you'll say to me, like, what's wrong? And I'll say
In
to
what
you,
regard, Dawn? In
I
what
don't-
regard? Just in general?
Yeah, like if you can be sitting in a room and you like everybody in there and life is good and you just have this uncomfortable feeling, but you can't describe it.
Intuition, right? Like,
It's like this gut feeling. You try to push it away. It's all going to be okay. You don't know what. So you'll say to me sometimes, what's wrong? And I'll tell you, I don't know. It just feels something is off.
Right.
And you say, no, it's all good. And it
Because I
is.
don't-
Like, we check it, it's
I
all
don't
good.
understand between off and on. I think that off.
But you never feel that way.
I don't, because I think that you're bringing it out. Maybe you're more sensitive than I am. I don't know. Maybe I've lived as a turtle before. I got
No, you'd have had to
No
evolve as a
sensitivity.
turtle to be where you are
I don't.
now.
I try not to judge situations or people present because.
It's not judging, it may just feel a certain way.
Well, that's called protection, right? When you protect yourself from somebody, how they make you feel.
Maybe.
Can I just make a comment?
Yes.
Am I interrupting?
Don't be a wise guy. Talk.
To coincide with what Frank and Sally are saying, I have a huge belief that we have genetic memory. So that's the scientific interpretation what reincarnation is for me. It is something that our ancestors, that's why some people look familiar to us. I feel like my ancestors knew you, or your ancestors. So I think that's something, the memory lives on, and some things are unresolved, and in our lifetime, it's our opportunity to resolve those things. In India, they call it karma.
Yeah,
so
In America, they call it the theory of the appendix. Did you know that?
Say that again?
The theory.
Make that up?
No.
The
The
theory?
theory of the appendix.
What does that mean?
We have an appendix, right?
An appendix?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know why?
We don't need it anymore.
Why?
We still don't know why.
We've evolved. We don't
Thank
use it
you.
anymore.
That's called the theory. There's 5,000 reasons you have an appendix.
Kendi, his head cut
And then
off
why
at
do
the
we have a
top.
tailbone?
But the problem is that nobody knows why we have it. It's not used anymore. It can get inflamed and infected. It can, and then you have to have an appendix.
I think we needed it back when we were cave people, and we don't need it anymore.
But there's the theory. So the theory of the appendix is exactly what you explained. You feel, you have theories, but nobody knows why. And then why is it that you can have that thought, which might be 100% correct, and I can't see that thought, which might be 100% correct? Why do we have all these different things going on to come to the evolution of today? Why? Why is it that Frank can write books that are so powerful, and I can't even read a book?
That's
Why?
not true.
And inspiration is a huge thing too.
Margaret, what do you
why-
think?
Ideas.
Okay.
Margaret, what do you think? Pick up your mic. Use your mic. Words of wisdom.
I don't really know how to to
There it
answer with this. We all have our own beliefs. I guess that's, that's life. And every day is a new thing, and we're learning through that.
So we all just know that we're learning.
Well, asking the question why is part of that learning.
As Russell always says, we're all just students learning.
In answer, I'm not interrupting, am I?
No.
I don't usually even ask
you're
you.
not
I just
beginning to start like
interrupt.
her.
But in answer to you, what you were talking about with karma, where are you? I had a show, and we often bring that up on my show, actually. I believe that my belief is karma. I use the word karma, but it's not necessarily what people always think as karma. I believe it's slightly different. We choose what we want to do. Some people say you do something, it comes back, but that's our choice. We have free will. But with karma, we do have that opportunity when we come back. I think we do meet those people, and we do try to work it out. Once you're aware of it, you begin to see that. It's a pattern, and if we don't, that pattern will increase and we'll go into a different scenario, but it'll be the same theme. In other words, whatever that is with that person, if we can't get over that, we will keep repeating it. We don't know that, but those people will come into our space, so to speak.
That's why, have you ever heard of generational curse?
Yeah, that
It's like
makes sense.
bad, it's bad karma from the past generations, your ancestors that you carry on that hasn't been resolved.
Right. I have not ever read about this, but I do receive messages, and I find that I love to talk about that, actually, because I do hear, and I feel very strongly that we get opportunities in each lifetime. Not everybody, well, again, you don't necessarily have to believe in, however, with yours, I love what you say where we go, too. But I think we'll always have that opportunity. But if we don't resolve it, I do believe it will come back. It may skip a lifetime, in my thought, because of lifetimes, but I do believe that will come back. And it's not always with the same person. in one lifetime, you'll see a theme. That person will have that, whatever it is, and maybe 10 years later, if you haven't settled it, somebody else will have that same thing, and it keeps repeating. And the more you're aware of it, the more you see it, and the more you have that opportunity to dispel, to get rid of it.
I love the theory of peeling the onion. Of peeling the onion.
Yes.
Peeling the onion. Well, you should all stay for Sally's show at 2:30.
This is what we are actually going to talk about, maybe.
I think they
yes,
should stay
this
at
is
your
really
show.
good.
We're going to wrap this show up so we can get ready for your show at 2:30.
Well, you kind of did my
Zena.
show now.
We got to get some other shows started at 2, so we've got
Me
some
and
things.
Frank, we're just getting started.
We are always just getting started with Frank, which is why I'm glad the Artist Loft is going to be every week in April. More to come. We just need more of Frank.
No, it's 7 petals, 7 different thoughts, 7 flowers make a garden.
Interesting.
And everybody in here is another flower.
Interesting.
How do you get Frank's books?
FrankARuffolo.com, FrankARuffolo.com, or right here at the studio, get your signed copy. Sally is going to start the series backwards. She's going to start with the last one. She's going to start with Samael of Sarah, which I think is perfect, and work her way back through Mars,
And you
through
get
the
a set of
moon.
glasses?
Imagine reading it backwards, from Mars to the moon, back to Earth, back to Yosemite. I was actually thinking, I was doing my run yesterday through hiking through Yosemite. I'm like, maybe the golden mount will appear when I go to Yosemite.
Yosemite has a fault line of a volcano underneath it.
Of course it does.
The whole park was a volcano.
But it's active again.
You know what's
It's
going to
been
happen?
active. It's an active volcano. Last time it erupted was 80,000 years ago.
If a golden altar
And it
appears,
erupts every 80,000 years.
If it erupts, we'll lose the whole western side of the United States.
or we're going to grow,
Wow.
or a golden altar will emerge. Got to see.
Yeah.
And that is in.
That will help Sea Siren's mission for sure.
If Yosemite ever erupts, we will not have to be
Worried
worried
about
about global warming.
Yeah. Same thing with off the
Amazing.
islands of Hawaii underneath. If that thing ever erupted, we're done.
But get your
Kill the
books right
dinosaurs.
here, and Kenny Magchop is in this one, Operation Retribution, brought to you by Frank A. Ruffolo also. And Kenny's right here. And Josh designed the cover on this. So more
And
to
Josh
come.
is in the book.
And Josh is in the book.
What's his Josh character?
Same as Joshua.
He's a TV announcer host. Isn't
There you
that weird?
Howard
it is.
Cosell Jr.
Howard Cosell Jr.
All right, the event is Thursday night. You can contact us here in the studio for the Miami information happening on Save Miami. For Eco-Bougie.
You know, I'm Puerto Rican. I can't spell Eco-Bougie.
Eco-Bougie.
How you spell that?
E-C-O.
I could do Eco.
B-O-U-G-I.
How you spell bougie? There's a G in that word?
Bougie.
Ay, Dios mío. I gotta tell you. I gotta learn a new language.
All right, have a great afternoon, everyone. Stay safe, be kind to each other. Tune in today to Call Me Zena. You can call in right here at the studio or stop on by. We're talking past lives, maybe Alicia and friends and Priscilla and Douglas. Maybe they'll stay, Sally, for your show. We shall see, and we will unearth the mystery as to why I am always crossed at my feet.
You're a zebra one.
Have a great afternoon.
Don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Broken Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.